Hi students, welcome to our class on machine learning. So myself Dr. N. Tirupati, working as associate professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. So today as part of the second unit we are discussing the another important algorithm, that is the KNN algorithm. So far we had seen the different important techniques in the second unit under supervised learning. Some of those are like the linear regression, logistic regression, decision trees, and some of the important algorithms, ID3 algorithm and C4 algorithms we had seen so far. So as part of those lectures, so today we are going to see the another important algorithm, that is the KNN algorithm. So before going to detail about the KNN algorithm, let us see the syllabus of your second unit. So this is the second unit you have. So far we had covered this linear separability and decision regions, linear discriminates. So types of regressions we had seen and different regressions available, that is the logistic regression and linear regression we had completed, and decision trees we had completed, and the algorithms ID3 and C4.5 we had already covered. So today we are discussing the last topic and one of the important algorithm in terms of machine learning models under supervised learning is the KNN algorithm. So which stands for K nearest neighborhood algorithm. So see, these are the contents of this lecture. So KNN algorithm, what is KNN algorithm, why we need to go for KNN algorithm, what are the advantages it has and what are the disadvantages it has, and what are the various types of applications where we can use this KNN algorithm also I had discussed, and some of the examples also I had discussed in this lecture. And the objective and outcome of this is the student can have a good knowledge or good idea about this KNN algorithm, and he can use this KNN algorithm in a better way in the real-time applications whenever he needs to solve a real-time application in respect to supervised learning. And remember one more thing, this KNN is one of the important algorithm under the supervised learning. Okay, so let us see this. So first we see about the KNN algorithm. So what is this KNN algorithm? See the points, important points. So I told you KNN stands for K nearest neighbor algorithm. So what is K and what is the nearest neighbor we are going to take, that things we will see in the discuss in the next slides. So K is a value, it always stands for, suppose K value 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 like this, and nearest neighbor. So whenever we are going to find a value or we are going to assign this, so for better understanding we can think this KNN algorithm is mainly used in the classification models, rather it can be used in the regression models also, but mainly we use this KNN algorithm in the classification models. So whenever we are going to classify a simple new data point into a belonging to either set A or set B, like these situations whenever will arise, so we will find the neighbors, and based on the neighbor values we are going to set them, or we are going to keep that new value or data point belongs to that particular set. That is the main story. So when you go deeper into this algorithm discussion in the next slides, we can understand in a better way. So first see this. So K nearest neighbor, so KNN stands for K nearest neighbor, is one of the simplest machine learning algorithms based on supervised learning technique. So I told you basically this KNN will come under the supervised learning algorithms. There this is one of the important algorithm we will use under this supervised learning techniques. So KNN algorithm assumes the similarity between the, so how this KNN algorithm is going to work means, it is going to assume the similarity between the new case or new data points and available cases. So it is going to take the similarity between the new data point or new case that which you are going to check with the available cases that is already available with you in the data, and put the new case into the category that is most similar to the available categories. That means, so what is going to happen in the KNN algorithm is simply you can understand with this point. So basically whenever you have a new data point or new case of data point, so we will try to understand the data point and we will try to compare the similarity between this new data point with the existing points. So definitely existing points may not be single point, there may be 2 or 3 or 4. From those comparisons with the existing new one with the existing data, you are going to make this new point, you are going to assign this new point belongs to this particular group. That is the thing you are going to assume. So that is the main role you are going to implement in this KNN algorithm. See, KNN algorithm stores all the available data and classifies a new point based on the similarity. So it is already storing the previous data, and whenever you are getting a new data, it is going to compare with the previous data with the new data today what we are getting now, and it is going to classify based on the similarity. So to what extent the similarity is there between the existing data set with the new data point whatever you are currently dealing with. That is the main problem or main thing you are implementing in this KNN algorithm. This means, see more explanation I had given here. This means when new data appears, then it can be easily classified into a well-suited category by using the KNN algorithm. That means whenever you are having a new data point, you are going to assign that data point to any existing data sets by using a technique by using this algorithm. That is the process we are implementing in this KNN algorithm. So KNN algorithm can be used for regression as well as for classification, but mostly it is used for the classification problems. So basically we will deal with both classification and regression in supervised learning. As KNN is a supervised learning technique, we can use this for both regression and classification problems. But in most of the real-time problems, most of the cases, we use this KNN algorithm for the classification problems rather than the regression problems. That is the main thing. So in other words, you can say KNN algorithm can be mainly used for the classification type of problems. Okay. See, let us continue the next some other points regarding this KNN algorithm. See, so KNN is basically this KNN is a non-parametric algorithm. That means, so you will have doubt, what is this non-parametric algorithm? So here I given, which means it does not make any assumptions on underlying data. So that means this KNN algorithm does not make any underlying data. That means what is an underlying data? So a data which is having the entire thing about that particular data. That means if you take any variable in the data, it is having its own data types, it is having its own variables, and moreover entire data and it is the data which is represented in terms of tables, everything regarding a particular object, a particular thing can be stored in a single point, and that data can be taken here as an underlying data. So this KNN algorithm is basically a non-parametric algorithm that is going to deal with an underlying data. That means whatever the data you are having, in that all the variables, their data types, their things, everything is being counted. So that is the thing about this KNN. So see, KNN can be called as lazy learning algorithm. So KNN algorithm can be called as a lazy learning algorithm. So why we will call this? Because KNN is a lazy learning algorithm because it does not have a specialized training phase. So a specially training cannot be done for this KNN algorithm. A normal training can be done and uses all the data for training while classification. So whatever the data is available, entire data will be used for the training phase. That means suppose you have some 10 GB of data, around the 10 GB of data, some 5 to 6 GB of data is related to your particular problem, remaining data is not related to your particular problem. But in KNN algorithm, you are going to consider entire 10 GB of data in the training phase, which is fully not related to your KNN algorithm also. Still this KNN algorithm will implement and will process that data which is unwanted data also. Hence it can be taken as a lazy learning algorithm. Why? Because when obviously it is working with the more amount of data than the required phase, automatically the processing time or the entire processing setup will be little bit delayed. So we will get the processing results in a little bit later way. So automatically we can call that as a lazy learning algorithm. Second one, non-parametric learning algorithm. Why we will call this? KNN is also a non-parametric learning algorithm because it doesn't assume anything about the underlying data. So by considering these two things, we are calling KNN algorithm as a lazy learning algorithm and non-parametric learning algorithm. Okay. Now see an example. So you can understand better way how KNN algorithm is going to work. So see, I have taken some composition for this. See, suppose we have an image of a creature that looks similar to cat and dog. So see, this is the thing. So we took an image of an animal which can look like a cat and a dog. Both animals can be observed by this input value. Now, but we want to know whether it is a cat or dog. But our question is whether this is a cat image or dog image, we need to finalize. So for this identification, mainly used for the similarity measures. So similar here problem is the image is looking like both cat and dog. But our question is whether this image belongs to a cat or dog, we need to identify it. So that is the main problem. So automatically we need to calculate the input image whatever we are taking is how approximately or what is the similarity of this image, whether this image belongs to a cat or dog, we need to calculate. So in such cases, whenever you need to measure the similarity between the two types of databases or two types of data points, you can use this KNN algorithm in a better way. So see how our model works. Our KNN model will find the similar features of the new data set to the cats and dogs images. So whatever the data set we are having here, this is the data set where we are maintaining the images of both cats and dogs. So our input value, whatever the algorithm we are giving, this algorithm is going to take this input value and it is going to match with the similarities of this both cat plus dog. With the similarity values, it is going to analyze and give you whether the output is a cat or dog. Now by observing the similarities of this input image, probably the main thing is most of the similarities are there with this input image with the cat, so that our output image will be a cat. So in this fashion, the KNN algorithm is going to work. That means when we are having a similar type of points, input data points, and when we have a database, we are going to conduct the similarity measure between the symptoms or the measures which are there in the database, and based on the highest similarity rate with the things, we are going to finalize that as our output value from the existing input value whatever we are giving. So from this, by analyzing this data, the input image is very similar to the cat from this database of cat plus dogs. So we are giving our output as a cat is our output from this model. So this is an example of how a KNN algorithm works. See, now the question is when we need to use this KNN algorithm. So what are the various stages when we can use this KNN algorithm? See, KNN can be used for both classification, regression, predictive problems. So basically this is also used for the prediction type of analysis, and it also can be used for both classification and regression, as I told you. But mainly we will use this KNN for the classification models. However, it is most widely used in the classification problems in the industry, as we discussed. To evaluate any technique, generally we took three important aspects. So to evaluate this KNN algorithm or any algorithm, we will consider mainly 3 points to evaluate any algorithm. So see this one. So is to interpret the output. So the first factor we need to consider here is to interpret the output. So whatever the output data we are getting, it should be very easy to interpret the data such that the understanding of the user can be very easy, and similar way the machine also can understand the data in a easier fashion. That is the first point we will consider. The second one is the calculation time. So in other words, we can take the processing time. So how much time it is going to take to solve the particular problem what we are given. That is the second thing. And of course, third one is the predictive power. That means to what extent the model is predicting the things we are expecting from the model. So that is the predictive power. That means whether the prediction, whether it is going to predict for the actual output for 100%, 90%, 80%. Based on that, we are going to select the algorithms. So see, we have taken some examples for the KNN scale. So is to interpret output is the first important factor we are taking. So for this, logistic regression value is 2, CORT is 3, and random forest is 1, and for KNN is 3. Similarly, for other things, calculation time, for logistic regression it is 3, it is 2, for CORT, random forest is 1, and for KNN it is 3. Similar way, for predictive power, so logistic regression is taking the 2 value, CORT is having 2, random forest is the 3 value, and of course KNN is having the 2. So if you compare the total values, KNN is having the better values compared to remaining 3 types of algorithms, CORT, random forest and logistic regression, which are also the similar techniques or algorithms used in the same supervised learning technique. So by considering these factors, mainly for classification type of problems, we are using the KNN algorithm rather than the other types of decision tree model algorithms available in the supervised learning models. So in conclusion, why do we need this KNN algorithm? See, in earlier days and now, before the development of this KNN algorithm and after the development of this KNN algorithm, what is the main difference between the allocation of data which are available giving to a data set? See, suppose There are two categories, that is category A and category B. See in this diagram you can see easily, this is the category A, this is the category B. So we have taken two categories of data. The name of those two categories are category A and category B, and we have a new data point x1. So what is the new point? This is the name of this one is the x1. So this data point will lie in which these categories. So whether this new data point x1 will belong to category A or category B, we need to identify. So that is the process of working of this KNN algorithm. See how this will work. To solve this type of problem, we need a KNN algorithm. So this sort of problems can be used by using this KNN algorithm. So how it is going to do? With the help of this KNN algorithm, we can easily identify the category or class of a particular data set. Consider the below diagram. See here, before utilizing or before using this KNN algorithm, the new data point is lying between this. So this is category B, this is category A. New point is lying here. After KNN, what you are seeing? You see the color of this data point is changing. Here it is in blue color. That means does not belongs to this green color category A or yellow color category B. But once after applying this KNN algorithm, we identified the algorithm has defined as the output as this new data point will belongs to green. That means category A it belongs. How it is claiming that this new data point belongs to category A will be known in this next slides. You follow this. So first we have taken two categories of data, category A and category B, and we have took a new data point that is x1. Now we need to find whether this new data point x1 belongs to either category A or category B. So in this image you can clearly say that category, the new data point belongs to category A. But how this data point has belongs to category A, we are going to tell in the next slides. You see this. See, this is the algorithm. The KNN working can be explained on the basis of below diagram. So in step 1, what we are going to do in this algorithm? So first one, select the number k of the neighbors. So first you find the number of neighbors. So number of neighbors will equal to the number of k. So what is the k value means number of neighbors in your problem. Second, calculate the Euclidean distance of k number of neighbors. So whatever the number of neighbors are there in your problem, you calculate the Euclidean distance between them. Then take the k nearest neighbors as per the calculated Euclidean distance. So based on this Euclidean distance what you have calculated, you find the neighbors exactly by using this k Euclidean distance value. Then among these k neighbors, so whatever the k neighbors we had identified, count the number of the data points in each category. Then count the number of points in each category by using these k neighbors. Then assign the new data point to that category for which the number of neighbors is maximum. That means from the both the sets, which set is having the more number of neighbors, for that set you are going to assign this new data point. That is the logic we are following. So then 6, our model is ready. With that, our model is ready. So this is the KN algorithm, how it is going to work. First we will identify the k number, that is number of neighbors. Then we will calculate the Euclidean distance with that k neighbors. Then take the nearest neighbors with the Euclidean distance. Then we are finding the k numbers and counting the number of neighbors in each group. And based on the number of the neighbors in each group, we are going to finalize or we are going to assign this new data set to that category which is having the more number of neighbors. That is the logic we will follow here. See here. Suppose, see this is the thing. Suppose we have a new data point and we need to put it in the required category. Consider the below image. So, see, I am explaining that point again. See, we have category A all greens, category B all blue, and we have next new data point, that is the yellow one. Now we need to classify or identify this yellow new data point belongs to either class A or class B. Now we need to identify. So firstly we will choose the number of neighbors, so we will choose the k value as 5. So first we are assuming that k value is 5. That means we are assuming the number of neighbors are 5 is there. So then see what will be the next step. See, I told you we need to calculate the Euclidean distance between the two neighbors. So for that, see, the Euclidean distance is calculated from A and B because A is one category and B is another category. Now you need to calculate the Euclidean distance between these two. I told you, see, x1 and y1 belongs to category A and x2 and y2 belongs to category B. Now the Euclidean distance is calculated between, so B value is here and A value is here. Now you need to calculate the Euclidean distance between these two, x1, y1 and x2, y2. So what is the formula we'll use? So basically this is the basic mathematical formula used to calculate the Euclidean distance. So that is simple, root square of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. With that you will get the Euclidean distance. So at first step you are going to finalize the number of neighbors you need to identify, that is k value identified as 5. Second one, you are identifying the Euclidean distance. So by using this formula, we are going to calculate the Euclidean distance between these two variables of category A and category B. Now the next step is, see, by calculating the Euclidean distance, we got the nearest neighbors as 3 nearest neighbors are there in category A. See, this is our new data point. From this, what are the 3 nearest points? So 1, 2 and 3 in category A. So these 3 are the nearest neighbors for this new data point from the category A. Similarly, we had identified 2 data points in category B. Those 2 are the nearest neighbors for this new data point. So now we need to, in our next step in the algorithm, what we need to see? We need to count the number of nearest points for this new data point we need. So in category A, how many are there nearest near points? 3 are there. Similarly, in category B, 2 nearest points are there. Now what is the next step in algorithm? After verifying this count of number of nodes or number of points or neighbors count, so whatever the maximum number is there in that category, we are going to assign our data point to that category. See, as we can see, the 3 nearest neighbors are from category A. So 3 are there in category A and similarly 2 are there in category B. So that is the thing we had. So now whatever the new data point we have, we can simply say our condition is whichever is having the, which category is having the more number of neighbor points, we are going to assign our new data point to that category. So from this, A is having 3 neighbors, B is having 2 neighbors. So automatically our new data point, we are going to assign this to category A. So that is the thing. So next question is, you may get how we are fixing the k value. That means KNN algorithm I told. So how you need to fix this k value? So see, this is the conditions we need to follow. Some of the points to this. There is no particular way to determine the best value for k. So we need to try some values to find out the best fit. But in normal cases, we take most of the cases k value as 5. Because see, I wrote a very low value for k such as k equal to 1 or k 2 can be a noisy value. That means the distance will be very, very minimum between the new point and the actual set. So that will be a noise raising point. So that to maintain some little bit more distance between the actual category and this k values or this new data point, we are maintaining some more values, or we are taking the k value as 5. That means we are maintaining some 5 neighbors are there with the new point to the existing category. So in most of the cases, to reduce the noise, we maintain k value as 5. But there is no rule that always you have to keep the value as 5. Based on your particular things, you can change at your points. So large values of k are always good, but it may find some difficulties also in some cases. So we will see those cases in the next slides. So what are the advantages of this KNN algorithm? So by using this KNN algorithm, what are the various advantages you are going to get? See, the first one is, it is simple to implement. Yes, it is very simple to implement. Why? Because first of all, finding the k value, then calculating the Euclidean distance, then calculating the number of nearest neighbors from each category, and of course, based on the more number of neighbors in each category, you are going to assign the thing. So very easy to understand and easy to implement most of the cases. It is robust to the noisy training data also, and of course, it can be more effective if the training data is more large. So when data is more, it is very easy to implement and it can gather more number of neighbors. Then you can understand that thing in a better way rather than the 2-3 values. If you compare for 10 values, it will be very good. So when the data is large or data size is very large, the KNN algorithm can be used in a better way and you will get the good results when you use this KNN algorithm in such cases. The main disadvantages of KNN algorithm are, see, always needs to determine the k value, which may be complex sometimes. I told you, so normally we are assuming k value as 5 for most of the cases. Sometimes it may be changed also. So most of the times k value, by assuming like that, it may give some disadvantage also in some cases. That is one disadvantage we have. And the computational cost is high because calculating the distance between the data points for all the training samples. So in my previous example, I had seen In category A you have 10 and category B you have 7 points. So when you have very few number of data points in category or data sets, it is very easy for you. But when you have large data set of 1000 variables or 1000 data points or 5000 data points or 1000 data samples, then it will be little bit difficult to calculate the Euclidean distance between those data points. So that is the main disadvantage of this KNN algorithm. See, some of the applications are real-time applications where this KNN algorithm can be used in real-time applications. The first one is banking system. So mainly this KNN algorithm is mainly used in banking system for to identify whether a person is fit for a loan or not. Suppose the bank want to give a loan, or an individual had applied for a loan to a bank. Now the bank people or the bank system need to analyze whether that particular individual is eligible to get a loan from the bank or not. Further, they need to verify the so many criteria. So all this process can be implemented by using this KNN algorithm in a better way. See, does that individual have the characteristics similar to the defaulter's one? So immediately the bank application, what they will do is, they will check the features of this new individual with the defaulter's cases, whether any similarity is there between this person with those defaulters face. If defaulters and this person's data is not at all matching, then they will give the loan. They will sanction the loan. If any similarity is there between the defaulters and this new person, automatically they will reject your bank application. This is the process they will use in the banking by using this KNN algorithm. Similarly, calculating the credit ratings. So by allocating the credit for any customer, or by allocating the what you can call it as a credit card, or you are allocating a loan based on a credit card, all these things that any user having a credit card is able to get any credit from the bank or not, like that applications can be processed by using this KNN algorithm. Similarly, politics. You know, nowadays it is being mainly used by almost all the political parties like Congress and BJP, like that I wrote there. Most of the parties will use this thing. The main question is whether a person, if you take, whether he will vote for our party or opponent party. They need to analyze this. So for that, what they are going to analyze is my previous data and my previous training data, or whatever the actions I had performed so far in my previous things, all those data they are going to map, and they are going to analyze, and they are going to judge whether I am going to vote for a particular party or not. They will be classified by using this KNN algorithm. So these are some of the real-time applications, and moreover so many applications are there, but I told some of the real-time applications which were very near and which were very useful to us in our day-to-day life. So these are the textbooks prescribed in your syllabus. So whenever you have some free time, go through these textbooks. So machine learning written by Tom Mitchell was one of the famous textbooks. So whenever you have some free time, you go through the reference textbooks also, where you can get the good knowledge. I have given some of the machine learning applications, how you can implement the combination of R and Python also I had given. In prescribed books also I had given. So whenever you have some free time, you just go through them and you can get more knowledge on these topics. So these are the references where I had collected the data for preparing this presentation. So in our lecture as a whole, if you think, so we had seen the KNN algorithm. So this is basically a classification algorithm, you can say, but this can be used both in classification and regression models. Mainly this is used in the classification problems, and this is very highly used in the banking applications and politics, or whenever in banking, and moreover whenever you have a chance of whether a new data whenever you are getting, so which data set this variable or this point belongs to, you want to analyze, you can use this sort of KNN algorithm in a better way. So this is the thing for today. So thank you. We will meet in next class.